Welcome to the Suddenly Marriage Podcast with Ray and Natasha Watson, where we help couples navigate the joys and challenges of their suddenly supernatural marriage.
Our marriage story is quite unique. We met, got engaged, and married all within 4 months. It was a suddenly God-ordained marriage, but of course, we've had our share of challenges. Join us for a candid conversation rooted in the Word of God that will help you build a stronger marriage bond.
Yeah, and before we kick off this week's episode, we want to shout out our sponsor, Elohai International Publishing and Media. If you've been wanting to write and publish a book and need help mastering your message and sharing your story, contact us at ElohaiPublishing.com. That's ELOHAI Publishing.com. All right, let's get into this week's episode. Hey everyone, welcome back to Suddenly Marriage Podcast. I am Natasha.
And I'm Ray J. Welcome back.
And as you see, we have some special guests. Honey, why don't you introduce them?
I have my Uncle Leon here and my Auntie Bess.
Our auntie and uncle.
And they're from all the way from Brooklyn, New York.
Yes.
Welcome.
Y'all, today we have such a great episode in store. We're going to be talking about blended families. So we've never talked about this on Suddenly Marriage Podcast. So as they have been visiting us first time in Houston, we were like, hey, why don't we have you on the podcast so we can chat it up about marriage, life, and blended families. So, honey, I'll ask you all. Why don't you tell us how long you've been married and tell us about the family, the unit, when you all got married and how it has grown or since that time.
Yes, so we this year we'll be married 33 years.
Wow.
And when we met, I was 22, Leon was 26. Leon already had 4 children. He already had 4 children, and I had 1. And he was not even a year old yet.
Wow.
So after that, the next year we got married, and we became a unit of 5 children, and me and him.
Wow.
Yeah.
We was blessed to have one more.
Then we had one together.
So now you have a total of 6 children.
Yes.
Together. What was it like then when you first got together and 4 children, 1 child, and then how long did you all wait until you had one together?
It was very rough because I wasn't used. I was 21, 22 when I first met him. So I had a son, but he was a baby. So I wasn't used to being a mother to slightly older children. So it was extremely, extremely hard for me because I didn't know nothing about being a mother.
You wasn't used to being a mother to 1.
I wasn't used to being a mother to 1, and now it's 5.
Wow.
So a lot of mistakes. And that's a good question, Tasha. I've never asked Leon, how did he feel taking on an additional? Because I assumed that it was okay for him because he already had 4. So what would one more? What would one more do? But everybody always asks me because he had the multiple children.
Yeah.
So how was? You mind me asking?
No, yeah, you go ahead.
How was it for you?
No, it really wasn't that bad. It was easy because he had 2 boys already, another boy, so it wasn't easy for me. They all played together. It was just another one.
So you ended up having 3 boys and 1 girl, 2 girls.
2 girls.
Yeah. Okay.
At that time, who the older 2 girls remembered their mom, so it was kind of difficult for them to accept me. So that was hard as well. And here I am young, if you don't want to accept me, okay, but I'm feeding you and stuff like that. So it was a lot of issues. It was a lot of issues and a lot of family issues, them coming into play. I'm young, so they're thinking they can tell me what. It was a lot of.
So how old were your children?
My oldest daughter, Diane, was 8.
8, 6, 3, and 2.
Wow.
And then I had Avery, and he wasn't barely
even 1.
Maybe like 9 or 10 months.
When I met you, yeah.
So he's the only father that Avery knows. Leon's the only father that he knows.
That's a lot of children.
Yes, it is. Yeah, at such a young age. 21, keep that in mind. 21.
Wow.
Yeah.
21, 22. Yes.
How did Grandma respond to you meeting Leon?
Oh, man. She liked him, but she didn't want me to be with him. Understandably so.
Girl, you crazy?
Yeah. Why would you want to do that to yourself? he's a nice guy. She liked him, but no, I don't see that in your future. And I think once she saw me starting to get serious about him, she came and talked to me. So I don't want that for you. I don't want that life for you because that's too many children at such a young age.
Mm.
I understand it. I would do the same thing to my daughter. She came to me since she met a man with 4 kids. Like,
Yeah.
do it right now. I got a son. She's coming to me. I got a girlfriend with 4 kids.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
You know?
Right.
Yeah, because that's a lot to take on
Yes.
as a 21-year-old.
Yes.
Now you went from one child, as single mom at one child, to now married. That's awesome.
Yes.
But you have 5 children.
Yes.
1 to 5. That's like,
Oh,
you
gosh.
don't hear about that a lot because a lot of times we hear like blended families. It might be 2 and 2
Right,
or
right.
1 and 1,
Right.
but like 5.
Yes.
like total.
Yes.
That's a lot.
Yes, it was.
So how were those first years? And you all were in Brooklyn, right?
Mhm.
So in Brooklyn, it's a little bit different than Houston, Texas.
Right.
It's a lot different. People are more, it's like more people in an area.
More
Right.
compact.
Yeah,
Right.
more compact.
Yeah.
So how was it to all be in a space that may not have been like huge, you know?
It was not.
So how did that work?
We was in a 1-bedroom.
Yeah, started out.
One
where-
bedroom?
1-bedroom. My father, grandpa came and built another bedroom for us, right?
Yeah, he separated the living room to make it 2 bedrooms.
2 bedrooms.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we had a room, so the kids had a place to stay. So it was extremely crowded and tight, and oh my goodness, it was rough. It was rough. Just learning,
Mm.
you know, the personalities and how to deal with them and controlling myself because I'm still a kid. And it was, and then, you know, you had so many outside pressures on you. So it was extremely difficult, extremely
We didn't
difficult.
even know each other. Now we got to
Right.
know each other on top of the kids.
Right.
Then we had interference from outside.
Outside, a lot.
Hold that thought. Yeah, because we want to
Yeah.
talk about that. But how long did y'all date before you actually married?
A year.
Okay.
Exactly a year.
Okay. And then you proposed to her. You just knew that was the one. She was the one for you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
How did you know?
I was just the way she is now. It's her personality. She was there for me then, and she's there for me now. I went through a lot. Like I said, I was there with 4 kids by myself, and their mother wasn't nowhere in the picture, and she just helped me out. She was just there.
That's beautiful.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Okay, so then you mentioned outside interference. So what did that look like?
Mm.
They looked like my mother and my sisters, you know, because I guess they weren't happy. I don't know why with my choice, or maybe not even that. It was just that they were so used to me being like the man in the family,
Mhm.
and then when I was with Bess and I moved away, I was with them and I was with her, and you know
They had issues.
they didn't
with
have
that.
the influence over me that they wanted to.
Mhm.
Mm.
Okay.
You know,
Now,
So they were protective.
Yeah.
they were controlling.
Yeah.
Control- okay.
Yeah. Let's put
Yeah,
that.
they weren't
Yeah.
controlling.
Yeah. And they couldn't control me. I had my own mom,
Mhm.
my older sisters, and my mom just blended in. She just helped out with everything, never interfered with us. Knew that we didn't know what you're doing, but let us seek the
Just
advice.
helped out a lot.
Don't just throw it in and, oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. I was still learning. So from my side of the family, everybody was great and helped out and was there. And if we asked for advice, they was there. His side of the family wanted to control, wanted to tell me what to do. Oh, Bess shouldn't do this. She shouldn't do that. She shouldn't do this. So they had conflicting, you know, disciplines.
Mhm.
So that it made it rough. That was very, very, very rough for them to get through. And at the time, Leon was young
Mhm.
and he didn't see it. He didn't see it. So he was still trying to be protective of his family, but trying to be the man in our house. So it was hard for him. Now that I'm older, I can realize that what he had to go through because he had a mom and sisters over here, like yeah, and then had me at home, yeah. But then it became a balance. He realized that his family was with me and the children, and his mom and his sisters just had to fall back, and that was even more controversial as the kids got bigger.
How long did it take to for everybody to settle and accept you?
Good question.
I don't think they ever have.
Yeah.
Mm.
Really?
No,
Mm.
Still
not-
to this
not
day.
completely.
Wow.
It's
Still to this day. I don't
not
think that.
as you think it should be.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know.
All these years later, it's still
Yeah.
they haven't accepted it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, okay, I hear that it was some friction and there was definitely some something, some outside forces, as you mentioned. A lot of times when this happens, we have to set boundaries, when dealing with in-laws and family and relatives. So did you all establish like any early boundaries to kind of protect your marriage from the outside forces from your family? And it might have been some others, I'm not sure. But did you have to establish boundaries to make sure that y'all were going to always be good regardless of what was happening and who was saying what?
Right. One thing we promised each other was that we would not let the children or any outside influence come between our marriage. We would say, if we decided to dissolve our marriage, it's going to be something between me and him, not any outside forces. So if the children think one way, his family think another way, it's whatever. It's not going to be that influence. So we decided we're going to stay together because we want to stay together. We will not let anybody put a wedge between that. And we stuck to that. We stuck to that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Definitely.
Okay, let's talk about now dealing with the kids. Okay, so a lot of times when there are like multiple children in a household, whether it's blended or not, we see on television shows, and I hear a lot, and even I can just recall me growing up, if mommy says no, then the child will go to dad. So like, how have you had to put up a united front, and did you create that boundary? Like, okay, we're always going to be on the same page. And how do you talk about parenthood basically? Yeah.
We tried, but kids going to be kids. That's what kids do.
Yeah.
You be in one room and the other parent in the other room, they'll say, like you said, they'll ask one and then they'll ask the other. So I think that's just natural. So that wasn't a big issue, but that's an issue with everybody.
Yeah, and
sometimes they get away with it, sometimes they didn't.
Right. And it's like, why did you say that they can do this? Why did you say that they can do this? Yeah, they played us. They played us quite often. Quite often they did that. But at the same time, we didn't know at the time. It was so much learning. We didn't have time to be married without being parents. So, I didn't know how to be a mom. Leon was a dad much longer than I was a mom. So he had the patience. Leon is what really carried us. His patience with me, being so young, and his patience with the children. So he raised all of us, really. I would see his example of how he handled things, how patiently he handled things. And I learned from that.
Wow.
So he really carried this marriage and this parenthood thing for a long time until I was able to finally get on board and get in step, with his teachings and from what I've seen. Because I was so but I learned to calm down with him because I seen the patience he had with the children. And that he wasn't a man that was scared to get in there and wash and clean, take the kids to the doctor. Everything that I did, he did. He wasn't like, oh no, you do this, I'm gonna sit and watch. No. He was much more. He taught me how to run a household.
That's awesome.
That I would do, he wouldn't do nothing. So everybody be like, he looked funny without his kids. You know what I'm saying? Because he always had the kids. So.
Uncle Leon, where did you learn this from?
I don't know. I just learned it as you go along. I guess I learned from my family. You see, and you pick up.
Because his dad died when he was a young age. So he learned how to be a father, really.
Died when I was like 10.
Yeah.
Watching, you have the instinct. You have to take care of these kids. You have to do whatever you have to do, prepare them for life.
So it sounds like there was no you do this. It was like an equal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you have specific roles in the marriage, or do you have those specific roles?
Not really.
No.
Everybody do everything.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
You gotta cook, clean, do whatever. You gotta do whatever.
Yeah, he told me about not taking the garbage down, and I'd be like, "But I'm not." He said, "Wait a minute, why you can't take the garbage down?" So that's basically the only thing.
He did the garbage once,
and
maybe
33 years
or twice, maybe. Yeah, nah.
I like you doing that though.
Yeah, exactly.
So did you have to incorporate exes, like your ex, in the marriage, and how did that work?
Thank goodness we didn't have to do that.
Not too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mine was nowhere in the picture, and his wasn't nowhere in the picture. Yeah. So that's we even talked about that the other day. Thank God we didn't have to deal with that. Never ever did we have to deal with that.
Baby dad,
no,
drama.
We never had to do that.
Okay.
So that was a great thing.
Yeah.
That is
again, in-laws.
Yes.
My older children's relatives would tell them things. about your mother, and your mother was this, and your mother this, and your father treated your mother like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to deal with that. It's like outside forces, and then they made her a saint, even though she wasn't, but they made her a saint, and then she passed away. So
Oh.
she, couldn't defend herself. I couldn't tell the truth. Well, I did tell the truth, but they believe in what they hear. Mother can't be the bad, so Bess got to be the bad one.
So you were a single dad when Bess met you.
Yes.
You just had all the children, and your ex had passed away.
Yeah.
Not at that time.
Not at the time, but
Not at the
Later
time. She
on.
was doing other things that,
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
that took
she
her away from
wasn't
the
in
children.
picture.
She was not in the picture.
And so a lot of times, I read that with blended families, it's like one spouse or both spouses might have a hard time letting the other spouse parent their children. But it doesn't sound like that was ever an issue for you all.
You got him.
Yeah.
So,
I'm out.
Nah, it was
so this
never.
is mom, this is dad. That's
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, you got to
It
listen.
was that, yeah.
Yeah.
We were all in this together.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I liked about you, we just had this conversation earlier this morning, is that you said you didn't treat them differently.
Right.
You don't consider blended families.
Right.
Yeah.
I never want, I never, and this is the first time me ever saying this publicly, that they are my stepchildren.
Yeah, we
I
accepted we had
never
children.
said that. Because I didn't want them to grow up with that stigma.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want them to be teased or whatever about that. Oh, where's your real mom? I didn't want them to have to answer those questions. So I never, ever, ever told anybody that I did not give birth to them. So I would just say, oh, I had this one when I was 15. I had this one when I was 17. You know what I'm saying? So it can make it as naturally as possible. So I always thought about in the future or when they become teenagers, what they would think or what people would think about them. So we never had that.
We all have the same last names. We're a family.
Right. So we never did that. Yeah.
That's beautiful. I hear like that you were protecting your family.
Yes,
Y'all
yes.
both, you protected
Yes.
your family.
Really tried to. Yeah.
That is just so beautiful. And I just hate that like the narrative for Black families, we don't see this. We don't hear this.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's always like the negative side of Black families oftentimes that is
Right.
portrayed in media. But I think it's so important to put stories out like y'all's story. You've been married 33 years. You had a life before you met each other. You
Right.
had children before you met each other. But you came together and decided this is our family and we rock it. We're one.
Yeah.
And I love that. That's like, that's awesome. Yeah, so kudos.
How would you say, change the topic a little bit about the finances? How did you talk about finances? Like who's a saver? Who's a spender?
With 6 kids.
We had no finances.
Yeah, there was no saving.
There was no
We
savings.
were surviving.
We surviving. You know,
Right.
they ate. They got clothed, and we was able to do a lot of things with them, but on a bargain, on a
Right.
budget. You know how that
Yes.
was. And so yeah, whatever it was. The thing is, we had so many good people that if they had clothes, we got this. We got clothes. Come get the clothes.
Yeah.
We going on trips. They got tickets for us. We're going on trips. You know, anything. Christmas toys. Look, we got a bag of toys for y'all. Come get them. Because they seen that we was trying. We were young. We were trying.
Yeah.
And so we always had good people in our lives to come and give that stuff to us.
Kids went to trips and did things that we didn't even
We
do.
couldn't do.
Yeah.
Because of our people that really saw that we were trying. You know,
So
so
it took a village.
it
Oh,
took a
definitely.
village.
Definitely.
Oh my gosh. Without the village, we wouldn't have been able to exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know just hearing like stories from Ray about his childhood growing up. He loved being with your family
Yeah,
and
yeah.
just being in Brooklyn
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everyone that was there in Brooklyn. So like just hearing the stories and then recently I had an opportunity to stay at you guys' house when
Right.
we went to New York
Right.
a few months back. And it was just so beautiful. It's just all love, you know, and people stop by. And so it sounds like that's kind of, you all always had that family loving atmosphere.
We tried. We really tried to portray that. And, you know, especially when people come, we want y'all to have fun. And you know, him and his brother, they just blended in with the rest of the kids and stuff. So whatever we did, they did. And as much as we possibly could, you know?
That's beautiful.
What values would you say is in your household?
Respect.
Gotta respect.
Respect.
That is the biggest thing.
Right.
The biggest thing. And honesty.
Mm.
You know, be honest. If you can't accomplish something or if you can't do something, let us know.
Mm.
Don't lie. Yeah, honesty and respect. Those are the biggest things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What kind of piggybacking off of that question, what kind of standards or values did you instill in your children besides the honesty and respect?
Mhm.
But like, did you say you have to get this, do this in school, you have to participate in this? Like, how did you manage the children? Because with 6 children,
Mhm.
there must have been multiple different schedules, of course, multiple different
yeah.
personalities and
Mhm.
interests. So how did that play out in your family?
Well, Leon had a thing. He always told him, you have to go to college.
Right.
You have to go to college because, I mean, at the time, I don't think me and you went to college at that time.
At
that time.
we went to school with the kids.
With the kids. So he said, you have to go to college. I want y'all all to get a college education because the more you learn, the more you earn.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now, did they take that up? Some of them did, some of them didn't. But that was one.
Everybody tried.
Yeah, everybody tried. But we wanted them to just have that. We didn't want them to be statistics.
Mhm.
You know, so that definitely was, and then back to the respect, and they was very respectful kids. I got to give them, they was very respectful kids, but definitely wanted that education part so they can go out and be productive adults.
Mhm.
You know,
I can say, like, when we were there, we talked about this on one of our podcast episodes. Uncle Leon's a DJ. What's your DJ name?
DJ Justice.
DJ Justice, who DJ'd at our wedding, y'all.
Yeah.
So when we were in New York a few months back, you had a party, like an 80s party.
Yeah.
And I think all 6 of the children might have come to that party.
They did.
I was like so amazed by that.
Mhm.
And that shows like how much your children love you and respect you and also love and respect each other, because in a lot of families that would not happen. So yeah, I just want to like clap that for you. Was there sibling rivalry in your family?
Yeah. Still is.
Still is. Still is.
Yeah, everybody's jealous of the other one. Like,
Yeah.
spend a little time with this one, and they'll call the other one. They just called me. Did they call you?
Yeah, yeah. They'll do that still, and it was hard because there was so many children,
Mhm.
and we had another child too. My sister's son was living with us too, so we raised 7 kids.
Okay.
Mhm.
So it was hard spending time
Individual.
individual. So my thing was I would leave one home, and just me and that person. It wasn't the boy or the girls. I would just leave one home so I can individually spend some time with them.
Gotcha.
And then sometimes when we cook dinner and we all eat together, I let everybody get 10 minutes to talk. Nobody else can interrupt them.
Mhm.
Nobody can tell me how your day was. What did you learn? What did you doing? And stuff like that until, they became teenagers and then other things happened.
So what were those conversations like at the dinner table with all children talking? That might be a 90-minute dinner.
Yeah, I know. It might be. It took a while.
Everybody talking one night.
Yeah.
Well, right now, and tomorrow, somebody else.
Yeah, tomorrow. So it wasn't that
Okay,
everybody
okay.
talked at the same. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Describe the holidays.
Oh,
How
boy.
does it look like?
Like I said, it was kind of rough, but like we had help. And it's funny
Right.
because we knew people, we worked with social service, so we knew people and they knew our situation. So like you say, they have a bunch of toys. Like, come down and pick out a few for the
Come up to Manhattan, get
Yeah.
some toys.
Go get
Come,
some clothes.
come
for
here,
the
get some kids, toys.
Yeah.
And then, we did what we can do. I wasn't a rapper. I would get a big bag, put them in a garbage bag. Y'all know what y'all asked for. Here they go. And then we sit back and let them. So yeah, it was rough though.
We were
Financially,
struggling, but I
we
don't
struggled.
think they knew.
No,
They didn't know. They
no.
was happy.
I was gonna ask that. Did they know that they were struggling? Because it sounds
No.
like you gave them
No.
such a great
They
life.
had a lot.
Yeah.
More than a lot of kids around.
Yeah.
But
Leon was the father of the block. The father, literally, because most of the children
building, not
of
the
the building. But no, it was a lot. It was other block. It was other kids. And so when he took the kids to Coney Island, he took all the kids.
Oh,
yeah.
When they took them bike riding, he fixed up bikes for all the other kids too to go bike riding. So he was actually the dad.
The patriarch of the
Yeah, he
community.
really was.
So did you ever have any trouble with this child not getting enough attention, this child not getting enough attention, and how did you navigate through that?
Yeah, it's.
In their minds.
And
I don't know.
we didn't see it.
Yeah, I don't think so. But
You
they
know,
saw it.
they saw it, and they would go talk to his family about it, and they wouldn't bring it to our attention.
Yeah, that was the bad
we
part.
thought we was doing, individually giving everybody some time, or together giving everybody some time. So that controversy didn't come to us. It went to his family. They prejudged it. and talked about it and told each individual kid what you should do and shouldn't do. And then they come back to us and bring us the conflict. So it was.
And the thing with
pretty
my
rough.
family, I don't think it was done out of malice. I think they thought they were doing the right thing, but it didn't come over that way.
So the children who had problems with the attention, they went to your family, so like your mother, your sister.
Oh,
Take
yes.
advantage of it. They'll say, like, well, I didn't get this and that one got this one.
Yeah.
My mother was saying, instead of telling me or telling Bess, let's work with it, they'll try to compensate. And it got to the point, it got to the point where it's like, if you can't do for all, don't do for any.
Okay.
We're not separating them like that. This one ain't getting something because the other one didn't get it. We wasn't playing that game. If they all can't get it, don't give nobody anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it was a lot of controversy.
no divide and conquer. We wasn't with that.
Eventually, most of your children moved out. So it became like an empty nester. So how did that affect your marriage?
Oh my goodness.
Great.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't at first.
What?
Let me tell you why. Because we wasn't used to being just us. So we had to, it was rough at first because we had to get to know each other again.
That just happened this year.
Yeah, probably.
Because
To get to know each other
really
again.
wasn't
So
together.
I told him, and he was willing, that he had to court me again. You had to court. You have to date me again. So we can start to like each other again. Because I think one of the reasons why our marriage lasts so long, because we didn't see each other that much.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm
At
saying?
one point, we used to pass each other going to the train.
Going to the train station, hey, how you doing? What, give each other a quick report.
Yeah, I'll be going
and then
home,
that's
she's
it.
going to work.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we didn't
So,
spend a lot of time.
We didn't spend a lot of time together. So then when
All centered around the
all
kids.
the children was gone, and then we was like, I don't know if we like each other. Let alone love each other. You know what I'm saying? Because
That's
it
amazing.
was. And I talked to you about it. You know what I'm saying? Because I had to. Oh gosh, he does leave the toilet seat up. You don't see all that when you're raising so many children, and it's small things. But at that time, like I said, he was willing. I said, you got to date me again. We got to fall in love again. After 30 years, we got to fall in love again, and we did. And it is fun. It
just happened recently.
It's so much fun.
I was working, in Long Island, living in Brooklyn. So I would leave my house like 5, wouldn't come home till like 7.
Oh, wow.
Then you come home, you tired. She was tired. She was working all day. So we really didn't spend too much time together.
Right.
The whole marriage, we really didn't spend a whole lot of time together. It actually got to the point where I actually missed her sometimes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you see everybody all day. Like I see her all day now. I see her all day. But it's good.
But now it's
We
good
good.
because we work together now.
Okay.
So I didn't think at first it was going to work out
Okay.
because me and his personality are so different. I said, it's this, but you become mature. You get to a certain level of maturity and realize we're doing this both for each other. And it's actually fun. I'm actually enjoying the time I spend with him now.
Friends. We're actually friends.
Right. And it
actually
took
like
a
him.
long time.
It took a long time to get I actually like her.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're dynamic though. Like even whenever I'm around you all, I think like they're like such a great couple. Like it seems like y'all play off of each other. Y'all get along. Y'all always matching.
It's my sense of fashion. She just can't help it.
That's not it. But it's fun now. It really, really is fun because now we're still young enough, even though we're getting older, to have fun with each other. You know what I'm saying? We all our 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, we were raising children.
Yeah, you like put
Literally.
your head down and just do the work.
Yeah, you just do it.
know?
You're not thinking about it. You're just on auto. But now we're really sitting back and enjoying us. And it's a beautiful thing to be still in love with your husband after all these years.
Give us some examples of what you do now to have fun.
So like I said, we work together and we work long hours every day, but we make it fun. So it's almost like dating. So because we'll go work and then we'll eat lunch and stuff like that. So we go on dates. We go to shows. We're traveling. We're out here in Texas. So, and we said we're just going to, every month, we're going to do something special. And we are. And we are.
That's so awesome.
That's all.
It sounds fun. Like you've built this life together and now you've fallen in a different groove. You're in a different season of life, but it's a fresh season. It's a new
really
season.
is. It really is. And, and then besides that, we have 15 grandchildren as well, and we loving grandparents. I wish we could have just went right into grandparenthood, you know what I'm saying? Bypass
Skip
parenthood and went right into that, because that just, oh my gosh, just makes,
Yeah.
yeah.
They show a lot of love, and they show
Yeah.
appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
And when it stops, then you give them back.
Then you give them back.
Yeah.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So after 33 years of marriage and 15 grandkids, what advice would you give people who are looking to get married?
You go first.
Especially in a blended family context. So let's say somebody's courting somebody and that person has a child. What advice would you give them?
Yeah.
You got to get to know the person.
Yes.
You got to know each other first.
Yeah.
You know, that's it. If you know the person, like the person, you can work through it.
Mm-hmm. And communication is very important. It's very important. Try not to go to bed mad at each other. Take divorce off the table. Take divorce off the table. Don't even let that be an option.
Right.
And really sit down and know your partner. Wants, desires, dreams.
Talk.
Credit scores. That stuff is important. What do you do? Do you want to be a business owner, or do you just want to be a worker? Those questions are so important. Do you want children? Do you not want children? Those things are very important, because then you're going to match with somebody and then you change. And then that's when it doesn't work, and you got to build it up. Somebody is not going to come with everything. They're going to have 1 or 2, 3 things that you like. But if y'all both willing and y'all love each other, y'all can build on the rest of the stuff.
Right.
So you ain't going to find no perfect man, no perfect woman. They don't exist. But y'all can coexist if y'all have something similar in common and things like that. And then y'all build, So it takes a lot of work. Marriage is a lot of work, a lot of sacrifices, a lot of just not being quiet, because the wisest person said nothing, and let the other person. It's so hard, though, because you want to get your point across. You want to be right. And that's it. That's all you care about. And then you got to think about people's feelings and the respect level. You can't just disrespect somebody and think everything's okay. So communication is very important to me. Very, very important. And he wasn't a communicator at first.
How do you handle conflict?
Excuse me?
How do you handle conflict?
Now?
Well, let's talk about it in both ways. So how did you handle it before, and how do you handle it now?
Oh, sure. A small background. Leon is the youngest child and the only boy.
Okay.
So he used to get in his way. Always. I'm the youngest, and I'm used to get my way. So at 21 and 26, we did not handle conflict well. No, but he was much more. He was much more patient than I was. And now we can have to give our little. But one of us is mostly him be. Whatever. I'm like,
you got to choose your
pick your battles. Pick your battles at this age.
Is it worth it?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just easy to say, okay.
Yeah.
Like
even
you
though you don't
win.
feel that
Even though
way,
you don't
but
feel it.
Okay.
Just to
But right
stop
now,
the momentum of the argument getting worse. Just like, all right.
Then you do what you got to do.
And Natasha, as a younger woman, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. I'm ready. But now it's like, that's not even worth it.
Yeah.
So what? He didn't put the toilet seat down. It just not fell in. But it's all right.
I'm going to tell you a secret about her. She probably don't want me to tell. She used to keep a bag packed, ready to leave.
Yeah.
She used to keep it in the closet.
Yeah, I did.
And she left a couple of times. And what happened when you left?
All right. I came back. Right?
When you went to your mother's house.
Oh, my mother made me come back. My mother wasn't going for that.
Let her stay a while.
She wasn't going for that. She's like, okay, baby, I come in. Y'all can eat and everything like that. She called him. Your wife is here. Right, come get her. And I had to go back. She said, because this is what marriage is. You just can't get up and run from it.
Right.
You made a commitment. You go home and you solve your problem at home.
At home.
This is not no say for a minute. Like now, granted, if he was abusive and we had an argument. He wouldn't get up and feed the baby or something like that. So I got mad and I left at 2 a.m. It's crazy. But, that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? And as a younger woman, I couldn't see me calming down and stuff like that. But as I'm older now, all like young crazy, it's just not worth it. But you got to go through it. You're going to go through it. You know what I'm saying? Because then you'll learn from it, you mature from it, and then you'll make it work. But you're going to go through it. You're going to go through it.
Back to when she used to leave, she used to get mad at me. She's like, I'm leaving. And then she get mad at me because I said, okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
She wanted me to stop her. Now she mad at me because she want to leave and I let her leave. You going to let me leave? What you want me to do? You want to leave?
Yeah, I didn't want to hear that. What?
He wanted you to chase her.
Yeah. I'm like, what? It's okay. Oh, my God. That's another argument. Yeah.
Okay, question. I want to go back for a second. So couples that are considering getting married, my husband asked, like, what advice would you give? But what do you, for the blended couples, is it important to know the children and like to actually like the children or accept, what's that look like?
I think so. Yes. We were in love, but we never even considered what they were feeling.
So y'all didn't consider the children?
Not at all.
But it should be considered.
It should be considered,
They're people too.
And you should let the partner meet the children, spend time with them. And if there are other parents involved, get to know them as well.
Yeah.
And then y'all have a conversation about what you expect, how your children to be raised, especially if that whatever parent that it is they're going to be living with them. And either the new mom or a new dad that's coming along, know the other parents. That's important. And get the children's perspective. We didn't consider none of that. We were young. We didn't listen, this is what it is.
Right.
And that wasn't fair to them. Now that we're older, we realize that wasn't fair to them.
Yeah.
That wasn't fair to them. So yeah, it's important for everybody to meet.
Would you change, besides that, would you change anything about your journey?
No.
No?
I don't. No.
I think I would focus more on the finance.
Yeah, that. Yeah, but he would be the one that I wanted to be with.
Oh, yeah. That,
Yes. I wouldn't change that for the world. A lot of times I say, because I just got out of the military when I met him. And I was like, I should have stayed in. I should have did my 20 years. But then somebody brought up to me, you wouldn't have met Leon then. You know what I'm saying? And then I said, then it wouldn't have been worth it then.
Yeah.
Then
I just got out the service too.
Right. So we met each other when we were supposed to.
Right.
And as hard as it was, because it's been very hard financially and, every other way. But I couldn't see doing life with nobody else but him. And I'm still enjoying it.
Love it.
Yeah.
So despite the hardships, despite things not being perfect, despite the issues with the in-laws and family, it's all worth it. And you're happy now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Extremely
It's
happy.
just getting better every day.
It's getting better.
Amen.
It's getting better.
Love it. Honey,
Yeah.
anything else?
I think that was it, babe.
I think that's it too. Y'all think we need to add anything?
I just wanted to say to you two, I met. And remember, I had to give you the 3rd degree, Tasha. This is my baby here. And I see y'all building a strong foundation. It's so important to continue. Whatever you did to get her, do to keep her.
Amen.
And that should never be, an issue. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so important for a woman to feel loved and secure and protected and respected.
Amen.
Keep that going.
Okay.
Because we need that. And even when you start having children, your daughter, you're her first hero. So she has to see you treating her mom with all those levels of respect, because that's the type of man she's going to get. So that is so important to keep that. And y'all doing a great job. And I know it's going to be issues. It's going to be, pray about it, but get through it.
Yeah.
Do whatever you got to do to get through it. But if y'all want that foundation to stay strong, y'all keep going the way y'all going. But always have that level of respect. And it's so important.
Amen.
So important.
Thank you.
Thank you. On that note, we are going to end this episode of Settling Marriage Podcast. Y'all, thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe. Share this podcast with someone who needs it. And leave a review.
Leave a review. Also, we're on all the major platforms, all the social media platforms. Tell a friend, tell a coworker, tell anybody that you connected with.
Yes. We love y'all. See you next time on Settling Marriage Podcast.
Goodbye now.
Bye.
And suddenly, this episode is over. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Elohai International Publishing and Media, a great commission company partnering with kingdom-minded visionaries to share their mission-centered stories. Join us next week for Suddenly Marriage Podcast.
Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to Suddenly Marriage Podcast on Apple, Google, and Spotify.
And you can also catch us on YouTube. Be blessed.